You do what you like. Claire's accessories.
Actually, my mum's wardrobe.
But today we're joined by someone very special from Instagram, Kimmy the electrician, or formerly known as, or the artist formerly known as Pro Electrician. So Kimmy, long day today, mate?
Yeah, long day. I literally just got in at this time, and this is my day off. This was my day off. So.
Well, it's not really a day off then, is it? Right,
Yeah.
So let's do this. What we like to do here at the Electrician's Guide to Everything is we like to do a quick fire questions round. There's a right and wrong answer. There's 6 questions, and you will be judged very harshly on your wrong answers. Are you ready? It's easy. So, what is your favourite power tool brand?
Power tool brand, JCB.
Right, that's not a power tool brand.
It's a power tool brand. They're very hard to get hold of, and once you do, they're amazing.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? JCB, what, drills and stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Is
that what you meant?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my tools are all JCB and Bosch, but...
What, JCB power tools? Hold on, I've got to look this up.
Do you think I'm lying?
Person.
Well...
I feel like you're lying. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's my favorite JCB. Love it.
Why would you buy
that? It was yellow. I like yellow.
DeWalt? What about DeWalt?
DeWalt. JCB.
Right. You've already failed the power tool brand questions. You've gone for some macro specials. Right. Cutters or croppers?
Cutters. Am I failing all of them?
Yeah, so far. What about cutters or croppers? Right, so you failed that. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
You're finished. What about work trousers or jeans?
Work trousers.
You're pulling it back. Day rate or price?
Price.
And your favourite tester brand?
Mega.
So you got one right.
Which was?
Which was work trousers.
Oh. Well, normally I wear leggings and then work trousers when I'm working in people's houses, but...
Wear leggings?
Yes.
How's that acceptable?
You normally wear long t-shirts and jackets, so...
Imagine if I turned up on site in a pair of leggings. Imagine what they'd say. What are you doing, mate? I think it's double standards here. Right. Well, listen. So what I like to do is find out a bit about my guest, and find out where it all started. So let's go back to the beginning.
Okay. Back to the beginning. Well, I actually was going to go to Birmingham University to study psychology, and I took a gap year out working in an office, and it was for an electrical company. So I was doing all the admin, the invoicing, I was sending off all the paperwork, typing up all the reports, and one day I was in the invoicing and I saw how much they get paid, the electricians, for changing light bulbs, changing sockets, and they were getting paid what I get paid in a day, they was getting paid in an hour. And I thought, you know what, I could do that. That's how it started. And then I spoke to my manager. I told him I'd like to do an electrician's course, and he laughed. He said, "You're a woman, you can't do that." So the other manager as well, he said the same thing. All the other boys at the firm, they laughed. And I thought, you know what, just to prove you all wrong, I'm going to go and do it. So when I first started out, I was basically working in the office in the daytime and doing my apprentice stuff in the evenings on out of hours. And I just fell in love with it. I was firstly changing elements. I know that's sort of like a 50-50 plumbers, electricians thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Started off changing elements, loved it. Doing fault finding, loved it. Fell in love with it so much that, yeah, that was it. And here I am now.
So what did you do? Did you go to college and do your, what is it, 2330, so your city and guilds?
Yeah, so I went to an adults college, so I paid for my course all up front. Done all of that. It took me a few years to get my qualifications, and I was doing working part-time.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wasn't an official apprentice. I sort of done it in an alternative way.
That's the same way I did it. Same way I did it.
Yeah, so the way I done it was I was basically getting private jobs, and I would be basically getting the jobs from estate agents and stuff like that. And then what I would do is then get some of the boys to come and do the job, but I would ask them if they could take an apprentice, but they wouldn't know I'm also the client as well as the apprentice. So I would turn up myself learning the stuff, but they didn't know I was the ones paying them. So I basically got to pick and choose the stuff that I wanted to do. So that was the first year of being an apprentice. So I never had to take off ladders, off roofs. I never had to make cups of tea. So basically most of the fun stuff that apprentices do, I managed to escape. And then after that, yeah, I just realized that was not the best way to learn, because anything that was harder or just didn't look fun, I got to escape. And then eventually I just dived right in as a full-time apprentice. Done that for about a year. Yeah.
So you've just been hustling your way through, got your qualifications. So what qualifications are you currently holding now?
Well, if you want to get technical with the little numbers and stuff, I don't actually know the numbers because I've not ever really needed those, but I've got all my level 2, level 3.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4,
and then my 18th edition, I've got my testing and inspecting as well. I've got PAT testing, and all these other random qualifications like essential electrics with, I don't know which examination boards they are with. I just managed to do them all as like CPD.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you've got a few qualifications under your belt, so you know what you're doing. You know about your testing and that, because I see you do quite a lot of EICRs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's my main sort of thing that I do, and out of hours and testing.
So EICRs is a big thing at the moment. There's a lot of people moaning about them, don't get paid enough. Now, you had an interesting thing the other day where you were talking about not about working for with a team of guys that used to whine about. My brain's not working again.
Yeah. Right. So what the guy was saying is he's struggling to get clients to pay £60 for an EICR at the moment, where he's working in Tower Hamlets. So it's quite a busy area in London. And apparently everyone's hungry out there. So they've all got low prices, but they're all doing proper dodgy stuff, mate. Some of them I've seen, they've passed it, but it's
scary
they're just
stuff, taking
man.
Backhanders, doing tests from the van, as we used to call it, testing from the van.
Yeah, van testing, they don't.
One of the reasons I wanted to get you on is because you talk about mentality a lot. You've got quite a positive vibe. You're out there hustling every day. You're putting in the long hours. I just wanted to drill down on that a little bit. Like, what makes you unique out there?
What makes me unique? Maybe the fact that I'm self-employed means that I have a lot more time to interact with the client. So I have 2 hours to sit there and have a cup of tea with my client. If my client wants to go for a little walk and talk about future projects, I can do that. Whereas I think if I was employed or, cared about my time in a sense where I wanted to charge them for every hour they spent with me, it would be a lot different. So for that reason, I end up forming a lot of friendships with my clients. And then once we become friends, it just becomes thing where they just spread the word and I don't have to advertise. That makes me unique in that sense. And I like to look after my clients as well. Sometimes go in the extra mile. Like today, I went to cut some keys for one of the clients. So while you're doing it, do you mind just going to the shop? And then, you know, there's going to be a viewing at the property. Do you mind just sort of showing them around and these sort of things? And I think a lot of people don't really offer that.
No, I know a lot of sparks that tell them no. You go and cut your own keys. And but it could be viewed as a smart business move. You know, doing a little bit of extra, you know, going that extra mile for your customer puts you in good standing for the next job. Now, one of the things you was talking about is, you know, you don't struggle when you put a price in, you get the job without having to reduce your price. Now, that's a big thing out there at the moment. A lot of people moaning about pricing of EICRs and stuff. What do you do differently in that arena? Like, how are you finding that?
How am I finding that? In what sense?
So you were talking the other day about these guys are getting like 60 quid for an EICR. How are you getting yours for the price you want?
I know my worth. I know my worth, and I know how much time and effort went into me studying and learning these things. I know that I know my stuff, and that if I was to do an EICR, I will pull you up and make your property safe. Just all these small things, and just I think the main thing is mentality. Like I said, just knowing what my time that I spend in college is worth. All these years that I've been on site, I know what it's worth. So when I say that is my price, I think people can sense that I am not really up for negotiation. So most of the clients that I seem to attract just understand that the way they have their prices for their services that they offer, I also have mine, and they don't really try to negotiate me down. And they appreciate my efforts, they appreciate my work, you know.
Now, one of the things I like to drill down on is moving away a little bit from the business and the industry side of things. What do you do to keep your well-being, your state of mind? How do you keep that going? Like, are you into fitness? Do you eat right? What do you do? What do you do to stay positive?
No, none of that. What I do, well, I try to go to the gym, but I literally just go to use the spa and the swimming pool.
Typical.
I just sit in the spa, in the jacuzzi for about an hour, and then that's about as far as
the gym.
I say it's going to the gym because it's a gym membership, and it sounds good when you tell people you go to the gym, but they don't know I just sit in the jacuzzi for an hour listening to people's conversations and then going home.
What is wrong with you?
So what else do I do? Do I eat right? No, I live on McDonald's chips and cups of tea. That's probably not very good for me. But what I do like to do is I like to merge. A lot of people disagree with this. I like to merge my personal life and work life all into one. So my work, I sort of find my personal time in between.
So you're going to need to explain that.
I need to?
Yeah.
So what I'll do is, let's say, I'll advertise for work. So I'll message my clients and let them know that, you know, I cover the whole of the UK. So what I'll do is sometimes they'll tell me, oh, they've got a property in Birmingham. Would I like to travel there? And I'll say yes. So I'll go to Birmingham and I'll offer them the package of, you know, like doing a floor plan and doing an EICR, emergency light certificate and all of this. And then I'll travel to Birmingham for the day, carry out all my certification, and then just spend the rest of the day traveling all around Birmingham, stay in a hotel. So that sort of gets the work side, gets me out there. And then I use
Birmingham though. What's to say in Birmingham?
The accent is the best accent.
What?
It's my favorite accent.
No, stop it. Drop me out. Drop me out. That's got to be the...
Really?
Listen, no offense to the Birmingham contingent of the listeners of this podcast. You know, that's got to be one of the worst accents.
Oh, it's my favorite. Followed by Liverpool. I love that one. That's a good one.
I like Liverpool. I like the Liverpool accent on girls. That's it.
Well.
That's all I can say. Right, so you're a bit weird. So you like to go to Birmingham and just hang out. It's weird.
Yeah.
Right, okay,
So
fair enough. So, I mean, what's important to you in life outside of work? What do you do? What's important to you?
I like educating myself on different perspectives.
Like what?
That's important to me. So whether it's religion or politics or outlook on life or whatever it is, I like to listen to other people's viewpoints. Sometimes it might be the opposite. I like to listen and just see what it's like to view the world from other people's minds, and that's a big thing for me. I enjoy that. And I think it's important because whether it's work, like I said, or whatever else, it's interesting to see how other people look at things. And in that sense, it makes you more understanding. So sometimes when you see someone being an absolute arse, sometimes you can just see their perspective. Maybe they had a rubbish day. Maybe they got stuff going on at home. These kind of things, you know, makes you look at the world differently.
So you got too much time.
I do. I guess I do.
You got too much time. I mean, you travel around, just stay in the hotels and just, you know,
Yeah,
walking around Birmingham, looking at people and listening to conversations. All right, let's be fair. That, you know, you're unique. You've got your own way of cruising around.
Yeah, I guess it works for me. So
you must do. Very successful. Like, would you class yourself as successful at this stage?
Yeah. Can you see all the £50 notes behind me on the wall, just as decor? Because you know I've got too much money.
Why have you got £50 notes on your wall? I'm interested.
Oh, I like to remind myself that I'm surrounded with financial reward for my hard work.
Okay, I like that.
It's a mentality thing. So even my wallet, if you see my wallet, it's like a fake £500 note, but it's a wallet. It's quite cool.
So you're very into symbolism, using what is it? The power of attraction, the law of attraction.
Yeah, big into that, and it works for me because I believe in it. So
there's a lot to be said for that. I mean, I'm not very mystical myself, but yeah, having a goal and going for it, and you know, surrounding yourself with positive things. I think a lot of people are into that. Now, with being a woman, doing call outs and stuff like that, I know you've got some interesting stories you want to share.
Well, I was doing call outs for about 4 years. Yeah, 4 years, 4 years now, out of hours. At one point for about 2 years, I strictly done out of hours. And I worked for a lot of housing associations.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and councils. So most of the homes I go to are like ex-convicts, drug addicts, working a lot of youth hostels, mother and baby units. So it's a lot of crazy places with a lot of crazy people with crazy stories. And where I'm being called out at 1, 2 in the morning, crazy things, Mondays, Sundays, Fridays, I have had a lot of interesting stories. And I was saying to you, one of the most interesting ones was, I got kidnapped once. I'm laughing about it now, but in hindsight, it was a dangerous situation. But
well, you've got to start from the beginning of that story. Let's have details. Let's go.
So what happened is I got a phone call to say there is leaking. There is water leaking through the light fitting in the bathroom. You know, dangerous electrics. Fair enough. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. So I've been out, this was a Saturday night, so I've been out since 1 o'clock in the day. So it's 12 hours I've been out doing call outs, and I hadn't eaten anything all day. I'm tired, and that was my second to last call. So when I turned up, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you know, the guy opens the door, he lets me in, and I check the light, and, you know, he goes to me, would you like a cup of tea? And I always say yes, if I don't mind eating and drinking people's houses. Probably a lot of people would advise that you shouldn't.
Hold on, what time of the day was this though?
This was 1 o'clock in the morning at night.
1 o'clock in the morning, do you want a cup of tea? Nah, you're all right, I'm out, bro.
Oh,
that's the answer.
Me, I must be crazy. I said, yeah, that'd be lovely. Then he offered me some toast, and I was like, oh, yeah. He offered me some toast, and I said, you know what, I haven't eaten all day, I don't mind. And he's like, you know what, my mum cooked food today. Would you like some food? And I said, no, that's fine. And he said, you know what, he was a Greek man, and he goes, in my culture, you know, we like to look after our guests, and he's like, I'm just going to bring you the food anyways. And I thought, what's the worst that could happen, right? Well, so he brought out all this food. It was like these rice and cabbage, vine leaf wraps, and honestly, the whole table was covered in food. So as I'm like eating a little bit here and there, he's telling me about his whole story. And, you know, I'm just trying to finish my cup of tea, and I like to drink my tea quite cool. So I'm waiting for it to cool down, and he's telling me his story. And he said he basically just came out of prison literally a week or so ago. And he says, you know, he's a bit lonely. He's not got any real life friends.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning and you're talking to my man about coming out of prison.
Yeah, and I'm sitting on his sofa. Yeah, and he goes to me, I just came out of prison literally a week ago. I don't have any real life friends, so it's nice to talk to somebody in real life. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. I'm sipping my tea, trying to finish it so, you know, I can keep it moving. And then he goes to me, I'm really enjoying this. And I was like, okay, okay, well, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go now. He's like, no, just stay, I'll make you more toast. And I was like, no, I'm fine. And then he just wouldn't let me leave, and he was just like sort of like standing in the door frame going, just please, I'll let you sleep on the you can sleep upstairs in my bed and I'll sleep on the sofa, but just please can we have like a sleepover so we can just stay up all night and chat away and stuff. And I was like no. And in the end, I just didn't know how to tell him to fuck off, basically. So I was just trying to be nice. And I kind of said to him, okay, we'll go out for lunch tomorrow. I'll give you my phone number as long as you let me go tonight. So in the end, he's like, okay, fine, I'll let you go. So I gave him my phone number. You know, he rang it to make sure it's the right one. As soon as I left, I was like, block. And that was the end of that. And I used to have stories like that every night. It was a crazy story, but I still somehow stayed and drank cups of tea in strangers' houses at 1 a.m. Maybe it's my fault.
You know what? I hate to say, like, I would say that you know, probably should relax at doing stuff like that. You know, take a step back.
I have now. I haven't done this. Well, I don't really do that anymore. But the thing is, I don't have a TV. I haven't had a TV since I was 16. I don't really watch anything like that. So for me, this is my sort of entertainment. It just happens to be real life EastEnders every day.
Wait a minute. So your entertainment is putting yourself in potentially very dangerous positions with ex-cons. Not there's anything wrong with being an ex-con.
It's only halfway through the cup of tea. He said that.
I've got to be honest with you. You kind of put yourself in that position, you know.
But the thing is, I'm fine. I've never been in a situation where I've been even physically touched at work. So
no.
So I've always feel like all these situations, I'm a very, very lucky person. So I just feel like this might sound crazy to a lot of people who are not very mystical like yourself, but I know I'll be fine. Hence why I guess I've been a bit reckless in my choices of drinking tea at strangers' houses.
That's a good word. Because listen, I don't care who they are. If I'm doing a call out, not that I would, no way. At 1 o'clock in the morning, you ain't getting my head off the pillow at 1 o'clock in the morning. Even if my child's crying, I'm pushing my wife to get up. You know, I ain't leaving my house at 1 o'clock in the morning. I certainly ain't drinking tea or toast at someone's house at 1 o'clock in the morning. Just like, oh, do you want to stay for a bit of toast? No, bro, I don't want your toast. What? Like, how do you know they haven't put something in the butter? Like, oh yeah, we'll get this person with like some knockout drugs.
To be honest, all of these things could have happened. And like I said, looking back now, yes, it would have been reckless, could have been reckless, but it's just happens to be the reality that I've lived, and it worked for me so far. And
I'm just going to say it right now. I'm just going to say this.
What's that?
I'm just going to say this. It's mental. And you know why? And I'll tell you why. Right? Because I am relatively new dad. My daughter is 19 months old. No, 20 months old now. One of the two. Not too sure. And I've had a daughter. I'm a bit late in life. I'm a late starter. Like, I'm 38, first kid. And
you look young. I didn't know you was 38.
Oh, thank you. You know,
I think you was like 31.
Well, fat don't crack. That's all I can say. But so my So my daughter, and I look at her and I think of all the possibilities for her in the future. Like, I would love her to be a doctor. I think it's the greatest job in the world. But, you know, then I think about, would I want her to be in the trades and stuff? Because obviously she's going to grow up. She's going to be helping daddy at work and stuff like that. You know, all these sort of things. She's going to be learning how to do stuff. And I enjoy talking to female electricians, female tradies, because I'm sort of talking to them on her behalf. I know it sounds really dumb, but
That makes sense.
I'm trying to sort of ratify it in my head to see what her potential career paths could be. And yeah, I'd never advise her to do call outs at 1 o'clock in the morning as a single lady. I think you know, I just wouldn't. There's a clear problem there. But would you recommend it for a girl?
Would I recommend it for a girl?
Not call outs at 1 in the morning. I'm talking about being a sparky.
Being a sparky for sure. Yeah.
Do you ever get any grief?
What's that?
Do you get grief?
Grief?
Yeah.
For what?
Like off of like site managers. What have you turned up for? Photo shoot, something like that. You know.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
So does that put you off, or does that just spur you on? Because you seem like someone who, if I tried to put you off for doing something, you're probably going to do it more.
Yeah, unfortunately, I love a challenge. So, yeah, with these kind of comments, I probably will want to come back the next day with sparkly eyeliner and stuff. Just because.
So you like to push against the tide. But getting back to the main question, would you recommend being a sparky or a tradey lady for the young girls? If there probably is no young girls listening to this podcast, but if there was, what would your advice be?
Oh, I definitely would recommend it, because once you finish your qualifications and you're qualified, the amount of different possibilities you can have on what you do with it is just crazy. So in terms of being flexible as well, if you are a tradie lady and you do eventually want to have kids as well, it's really flexible because you can work from the office, you know, being like a supervisor eventually, just, you know, looking over the certificates and stuff. There's so many companies who offer flexible hours. You can work in the days, in the nights, evenings. So there's so many different things. So in that sense, it's flexible. And a lot of girls might not want to sit in front of the computer all day doing that, or admin work or whatever else. Yeah, and I guess it's quite fun as well, being on site, especially when you work with other women as well. So you guys just team up and girl power, get the job done.
How many other women have you worked with then? Because to me, this
3.
is like a bit of a new thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
3. So 3 other ladies. One of them was a plumber. 2 of them were electricians.
Oh, was it?
And yeah, when I was working with one of the girls, I started a company. I was there for 2 weeks. So I was doing my training for 2 weeks with them. So when me and her were working together, we would turn up at doors because we're both the same age. A lot of people would sort of look and go, what? 2 young girls to do what? To change my lights. A lot of people would get funny about it. They just wouldn't believe it. And I did once, me and her were changing lights in the communal area. And some lady got out the lift and she just started screaming. She goes, I can't believe this. She went and got her camera and she was taking pictures, putting on Facebook. She couldn't believe that 2 women, not 1, 2 women were changing the light bulb. So
it's a new dawn. It's a new dawn. And I've become very pro women and that. I was a bit of a, you know, what are you doing? Woman's got no place on site. What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? What's she going to do? Make us tea? You know what I mean? I was one of them. But now I've got a daughter. I see things differently. And I think, talk to my daughter like that, punch her head in. But,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But now it's like I'm seeing things differently and I quite like it. I'm a big supporter of it. I don't know if you know Amy the Spark. She's part of the Monday Club now.
Oh, yeah. She's one of my favourites on Instagram.
You'll have to come on Monday Club one day. And we do a female versus male face off. We'll just smash you because you're not quite ready yet. Anyway, enough of the silliness. Now tell me, what is the future for Kimmy the Spark? The
future? I've actually got a few few little video tutorials planned. So they were actually aimed at my tenants. So I work for a lot of landlords and estate agents. So I was going to do small little how-to videos like the RCD test, you know, the flicking it on and off, unplugging all the stuff. So these kind of basic videos I was going to do, filming this week, Friday, next week as well. But now I'm thinking, where I've started coming on to Instagram more, I might just do like a little small mini series and just share it on my YouTube channel aimed at my fellow Sparkies as well.
Please do that. The YouTube is crying out for a female Spark to be doing some bits and pieces on there. And I mean, if you're in it like you are, you seem like you're very confident. You seem like you know what you're doing. I will say there's some pitfalls, but don't worry about that. There are people out there that just scan the internet every day looking for problems.
Yeah, I know. I've seen some of those comments, and it's just, I don't know what they're doing. They just don't have better things to do. So, but listen, trolling is probably their part-time thing, you know.
Do you know what? Trolling is incredibly rewarding when I do it, but I had to stop doing it because now I get trolled. I'm like, fuck's sake, that's really upset me. but
dry your eyes.
And I need to. The other day I got one come through. It upset my whole morning. I had like 10 nice comments, and I had one saying, oh, "Why don't you just fuck off and die?" And I was like, oh, I'm very sad by that. Nah, it doesn't really bother me. I'm thick-skinned. Out of curiosity, business-wise, what are you doing to grow your business? What are you doing? What is the future in terms of business? Are you going to be on the tools forever? Are you planning to running your own company? What do you want to do?
So at the moment, I've been self-employed since I started, really. I've had 2 employed jobs. One of them actually lasted 6 months. That's my longest ever employed job. So I lasted 6 months, and I quit over a dispute that was to do with me being a woman. Actually, it was they kept calling me darling and babe and hun. That was the managers. So I thought, you know what, I'll call them babe too. So I was like, listen, babe. And do you know what they done? They pulled me up on it. They said it's unprofessional, but they was doing the same kind of things. And obviously I said it works both ways, but apparently they didn't like being called babe. So in the end, I thought, you know what, this is not for me. But yeah, so I've only had 2 employed jobs. The rest of the time I've always been self-employed. And I've had, I'm on my second company. The first company I had some issues with the accountant and stuff like that. I had to shut that down. So I've actually got my own company. I've got like a small team of people I work with. I don't actually have any people that employ directly with myself. In the future, I would like to have a regular apprentice. That's a little dream, because I've got apprentices that kind of come and go once a month when they've got time. They just come along with me and stuff like that. But yeah, in the future, I'd like to get a few more small contracts, team up with a few more Sparkies, and yeah, and then we'll see in a few years' time if I want to get bigger contracts. Ideally, I would love to get a council contract, like, or something like Waits or Clarion, that these kind of companies that have yeah, they've got a lot of contacts. So I'd like to tender for a contract like that in a few years' time.
So
yeah,
what keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated? What keeps me motivated? That's a good question.
Obviously, it's what I do.
You're a very good interviewer. Yeah. What keeps me motivated? I think it's just the excitement of just seeing the progress in projects, seeing the progress in my learning, seeing the progress in other people. You know, when you sort of see them and a couple of months down the line, they're like totally transform their work, and like the fuse boxes are looking neater and neater every single time you see them, and small things like that. Just yeah, it keeps you going, I guess. Getting
better, in a nutshell, just getting better. It's all about getting better, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is what life's about, is trying to be better than you was yesterday. Even if it's 0.1%, if you've done that for 100 days, you'd be 10% better. But do you know what I mean? If you use like 1% every day, in 100 days, you're 100%
Yeah.
better. So it's just small increments, getting better every day in small increments. And that to me is something that's really important in my life. I've had my ups and downs, my struggles. I've got my little family now. And every day I want to be with one tiny bit better, probably not even 1%, but I'm working towards something, a bigger goal, if you like. Now, just quickly, because I forgot to ask this, what do you use, NAPIT or NIC?
I was actually with Stroma.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they
Now,
got bought by NAPIT,
yes,
Alexa.
they did. Yeah, they did.
So yeah, at the moment, I'm sort of trying to get over to NIC, but with this whole COVID thing, I was just doing out of hours, so I wasn't really needing to file all the paperwork. So I've put it on hold. But literally, I'm just trying to apply for the paperwork to go to NIC.
How are you finding COVID? It's been a nightmare. Like COVID 1.0, I thought I was handling well. You know, like lockdown 1.0, like back in March or whenever it was. And then I come out of that and was an absolute mess. Don't know why. Just didn't handle it very well. Then this one, how are you finding this one?
Oh, both of them have... It might sound crazy, but this is just my experience of it. For me, this has been the best time of my life, best time financially, best time mentally, best time physically. This has been the best year for me.
See, I love hearing
this
that.
is just my experience.
I love hearing that. And I'll tell you why. Because, like, for me, I've been struggling. Like, I've been struggling on this one. Don't know why. But I like hearing that someone's thriving through it. You're not the only one, funnily enough. I know a few people have been thriving through it mentally, physically, money-wise. They've been earning good dough and just smashing it out of the park. And I like to see that because it just shows that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I know there's a lot of people around me struggling with it. But again, there's equal amount not struggling with it. So it's good to hear. It's good to hear. So, listen, let's finish on something positive. What do you love about being a Spark?
Oh, I love the challenges. Every day it's a different challenge, and that just keeps your brain power, keeps it moving. You know, there's no still days. It's like every day you're either challenged physically because you can't. There was the other day I couldn't get the gland on. Oh my god, that was a physical challenge. And other days you'll have like a fault finding problem, and it'll be a mental challenge, or you'll be reading the regs and you're trying to figure out all the little numbers and stuff, and it's a different kind of challenge every day. Or sometimes it'll be a difficult client, dealing with a complaint, chasing up an invoice. Literally different challenge every day. You don't know what you're going to get, like that whole box of chocolates kind of thing. Don't know what's coming. I love it.
You don't know what that is. I love it. Forrest Gump famously said, life is like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get next.
Yep, that's what I love about being a Sparks. Every job you come into, you don't know if you're going to be there for an hour or for the rest of the day. I love it.
There you go. We're going to finish on life is like a box of chocolates. I love it. Have a great one. Thank you very much, Kimmy the Spark. Where can people find you? Oh,
at the moment, just on Instagram, but watch for the YouTube channel soon. Thank you.
No worries. Listen, thank you very much for your time. We're out.